2 million acres of public lands could be up for sale immediately. Let me explain. Senator Mike Lee of Utah introduced a draft of legislation that could become part of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act that could affect millions of acres of public lands. The proposal calls for the mandatory disposal of Bureau of Land Management land and National Forest System land for housing. Lee stated,
"We're opening underused federal land to expand housing, support local development, and get Washington, D.C. out of the way of communities that are just trying to grow."
Opponents argue the bill would serve wealthy interests rather than local communities and amounts to the largest single sale of national public lands in modern history. According to wilderness.org, the legislation would help cut taxes for the richest people in the country, trading ordinary Americans access to outdoor recreation for a short-term payoff that disproportionately benefits the privileged and well-connected. Federally protected lands such as national parks, monuments, and designated recreational areas would not be eligible for sale. However, a visualization of the U.S. Forest Service and Bureau of Land Management lands shows the vast scope of the land affected. The bill would require the sale of at least 2 million acres of USFS and BLM land over the next 5 years, primarily across the western states. Land slated for sale include local recreation areas, wilderness study areas, inventoried roadless areas, critical wildlife habitats, and big game migration corridors. The proposed sale of public lands has sparked bipartisan outrage, a recurring theme since President Donald Trump took office. Trump-era initiatives like the Mines Everywhere executive order targeted public lands with potential mineral deposits. A previous GOP-backed proposal to sell off public lands was also met with backlash and was already removed from the national budget bill earlier this spring. What do you think of Mike Lee's push to sell off public lands? Let us know in the comments.